Last week we heard from international students who have become destitute and relying on food banks while studying in the UK during the pandemic.
Obviously, I don't want to play the devil advocate role here. I just want to share the reality of what the international students going through right at the
fees
time.
And give me a threatening mails like if I'm not paying my fees, this thing will be happen. So I'm totally confused and I'm depressed.
What would you say to those people who say if you didn't have that money then that's not the university's fault?
At that time I have money which my parents saved for me. The situation is different when lockdowns happen and this COVID-19 situation is coming. I came here for a dream, like I never like I have sorry.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your host Jessica with another useful and important video. As you can see, I'm outside. We're still in the lockdown, so but obviously due to mental health reasons we have to somehow need to come out as well. Obviously it's not permitted. We only are allowed for the exercise and the sort of essential needs only, but actually I'm not far off from my home, so it's just around the corner. But I wanted to share this video with yourself as well. Guys, in this video I'm going to share the reality of international students here in the UK. I mean, they came in during the pandemic in January 2020 and then September 2020, what the current situation they're going through right now, and I'll share a clip from the news as well, just to give you the real picture of what they're
Start
going
of the
through.
pandemic, the Sever Trust has helped 650 international students who found themselves stuck in lockdown and forced to learn only online, with no part-time work available to earn money and no access to benefits here.
Obviously, I don't want to play the devil advocate role here. I just want to share the reality of what the international students going through right at the time, and how they are struggling at the minute. That's all I wanted to share, to make sure if you're coming over here in the UK, don't assume everything is gold and green. So you have to face the reality here. That is the purpose of this video, so make sure you watch till the end if you're coming here, to make sure you are mentally prepared for the situation as well. But before I get into the detail, I wanted to thank all the students and all the colleagues. I mean, they have already joined the WhatsApp group. Yeah, link into the description below. And as said in the previous videos as well, if you could join the group and you can raise your questions there, it will be easy for me to respond to your queries quite quickly there. And I'm sure for those, I mean, who already joined, they are enjoying the gang there as well, and I'm sure they are getting the response quite swiftly there as well. So for those who haven't joined as yet, please join the group, and I'm sure you can reach me quite quickly there, and you will get response to
He
your
asked
queries
his
there.
university if he could delay the remaining third of fees he owed, as his family had used it to live off. But the University of Bedfordshire refused, instead threatening that they may withdraw him from the course, take legal action and report him to immigration, who they warned could cancel his
Trying
visa.
to share the actual sort of situation. So if you are thinking about coming here, you don't want to live in your sort of in a dream sort of world. I wanted to share the actual reality here, so you are prepared mentally here when you come here to the UK as well, especially in this pandemic. Obviously going along in the future, I'm sure everything will be settled down, but it's actually the people, the students, international students that came here during the pandemic, and what they are going through in the current circumstances. That's what I'm trying to share here. The reason I'm doing this is to ensure you know the reality here. Obviously if you don't like it, don't watch it, but obviously I don't want to give you the false information. That's all the intention is. So I will share a clip from the news as well, that can assure you basically what I'm saying is authentic information. That is from the Channel 4 news. I'll share on back side of this video, but just to inform you, for the current circumstances, obviously everything is online since long time basically. So the students, they came here I would say in 2020, they are struggling considerably. Obviously, there's no, well, I would say no jobs. That's a wrong interpretation, but there are jobs, but very limited jobs, and majority of the students are struggling, forced to go basically for the charities just to make their needs, the essential there. They don't have money for their food, for their courses now to pay. And in fact, yeah, in the report, yeah, I will share a back end of this video, you would see actually the universities that they are now threatening the students as well. If they can't pay, they will strike out from the university, from the course as well. So it's not a good news, obviously, for especially for those they come here with the big dreams in their mind, and obviously the family on their back. I mean, they're dreaming, yeah, their future because of you being here in the UK. But this is just showing the reality. Everything is no green and gold basically. So it's the tough situation we are going through at the minute. Very certain and hopeful the situation will be improved, yeah, going forward. But this is for those who are starting especially in this February, or yeah, going before the September session, I would say. If they're starting their journey in this sort of session, there will be a tougher sort of situation you have to face, and this is the reality here. In terms of the vaccination, that's still ongoing. Over 12 million people that have been vaccinated here, and the government already announced here by end of April all the over 50 that will be vaccinated as well. So that's a positive news that we are moving in the right direction. But obviously this does mean that we have to go a long way before everything settles down and the job will go back into the market. So it's a long way off. We're going into the charities to meet their needs, and that is the reality here in current sort of situation. Everything went online, and even they are forced actually to leave their home for jobs in different areas. And obviously the struggle is there. It's not over, especially for those who haven't paid their fees as well, to the university fees, that they are struggling. And the universities are basically targeting those as well now. Obviously it's a situation, it's no one's fault there. In fact, so you can't blame the students if they can't pay now. And obviously something needs to be done, definitely. So I would urge all the university, international student university as well, to make basically a joint group as well, and you can raise your voice as well. That would be the best way. Obviously you are not alone. The whole country, the whole world is going through the same situation, and you are not exceptional, and you are going through the same situation. Obviously you come here, you have provided the proof when you apply for the visa. There's no doubt about it. You provided at the time, but obviously this situation changed over the years due to the pandemic, so that the whole scenario now is different than when you apply for visa. And now this is something that needs to be shown and brought up to the here to the universities and to the government as well. So the international students shouldn't be penalized for this. I mean, if you can't pay, you should get a concession. You can pay later on, but it doesn't mean that they're going to struck off or completely shut off from the university. So obviously from distance you can see everything is gold and green, but it's not the case in current circumstances. You have to face the reality, and that's exactly what I'm trying to share here. As said earlier, I don't want to play the devil role here, always spreading the sort of bad news for the international students. I don't mean that. It's just trying to share the reality, what the students are going through here. So hope, guys, I mean, you are mentally prepared if you're coming here, and this will help you as well. Obviously if you can delay the stuff, your studies for a bit longer than to the September 2021, that would be ideal from here on. And obviously if you already started your process and you're coming over here, so you need to be mentally prepared for these scenarios.
Out delivering food parcels in Bedfordshire. Since the start of the pandemic, the Sever Trust has helped 650 international students who found themselves stuck in lockdown and forced to learn only online, with no part-time work available to earn money and no access to benefits here.
All the very best, and if you need anything, let us know. Take good care of yourself, yeah? All right, take care.
But it isn't just food that's needed. Support too, to fight against universities demanding fees and threatening to kick students out.
Hiya.
One of those people is Manoj. We meet him at the window of his student accommodation in Luton.
Hello?
Hello, I thought I was better than shouting. He's in day 5 of isolation after catching COVID-19. How's it going?
Bored. I'm taking a picture.
Bored, yeah, of course. His parents' farm in India took a huge hit during the pandemic, and so he asked his university if he could delay the remaining third of fees he owed, as his family had used it to live off. But the University of Bedfordshire refused, instead threatening that they may withdraw him from the course, take legal action and report him to immigration, who they warned could cancel his visa.
The university asked me for my tuition fees and give me a threatening mails like if I'm not paying my fees, this thing will be happen. So I'm totally confused and I'm depressed.
What would you say to those people who say, if you didn't have that money, then that's not the university's fault?
At that time, I have money, which my parents saved for me. The situation is different when lockdowns happen and this COVID-19 situation is coming. I came here for a dream, like I never, like I have, sorry.
The university eventually agreed to smaller repayments and gave him some money from the hardship fund after the Sever Trust intervened. The University of Bedfordshire told us,
Mr Manoj came to us in the early months of lockdown when our financial processes were still evolving in response to the pandemic. He was one of the students that highlighted the need for change, and we are pleased now to have a more flexible approach to emergency funding. We understand the distress the initial delay would have caused. We urge all students who are struggling to get in contact with us.
Cases like Manoj's have kept the Sever Trust busy this year. They've dealt with several universities sending threats of immigration to international students struggling to pay fees.
A lot of students, suffered in silence. They don't want anyone to find out that they're going through this hardship. I think the university should take more responsibility and also need to treat overseas students in the same way they treat home students.
Last week we heard from international students who have become destitute and relying on food banks while studying in the UK during the pandemic. Since our report, some universities have contacted the food bank to help, and the University of East London sent an email reassuring students not to panic if they can't pay their fees on time. But we've heard cases of universities elsewhere in the country who are still threatening international students for late payment of fees. Sola is a third-year medical student at the University of Nottingham. The pandemic affected her parents' business in Indonesia, and so she struggled to pay her £43,000 a year fees. Despite having an online exam this week, the university threatened to cut off her IT access if she didn't pay.
I'm already under immense stress, so you can clearly see that from their attitude that they don't care what the student's current state of mind even is at. They just, kind of fling around these threats. We're being treated like cash machines.
The only reason Sola is still at uni is because her friends started a GoFundMe to keep her online, for now. She said universities could be more understanding, like students are, while learning online.
Why do they need to, so sternly reprimand me, remember, you have to pay or we are going to restrict your IT? They're talking to me as if I'm intentionally not paying, as if I'm out here, drowning in cash and I'm not going to pay. It's not like I'm bathing in world-class learning experience.
The University of Nottingham say it has a range of measures in place to support students who have been financially impacted by the pandemic and continue to offer support, guidance and understanding. We want our students to succeed. For some international students, the pandemic has taken away family income, in-person learning, and left them isolated away from home. But on top of all of that, threats from university finance departments for money they don't have, and fears that their dream of a British education might be short-lived.
That's all I wanted to share in this video. Thanks for watching.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين